my dear students, welcome back to the session. We are discussing axial loading diagrams. Continuation to the last class. Just have a look on the title. Axial deformation in the non-uniform rod. Okay, here non-uniform rod subjected under axial loading, we need to derive an expression for axial deformation. Okay, first take non-uniform rod. This is non-uniform rod. From here to here, something like this. It is not uniform. Okay? It is also not uniform. It is subjected under axial loading P. Axial loading P. Here, how to determine the magnitude of axial deformation? So, just take a section, follow the procedure, take a section, the length of the section is dx. It is at a distance x from this end, Now, take an element, here, the length of the section is dx. If you take a slice, you will get like this. Okay? So take one piece. Okay, you will get very small element. You will get it. You will get like this only. It is AXX, area of cross section of the element. From here to here it is dx. It is dx. Now, how to determine the magnitude of axial deformation? First, write down axial deformation. Axial. Here I will write axial deformation in non-uniform rod. Axial deformation in the element you can take. First element d delta. What is the axial deformation? The element equals to pxx. What is the length of the element? Actually, delta equals to PL by A. Load acting on the element into length of the element, area of cross section of element, and finally Young's modulus. Okay, so here pxx, this is length of the element, axx, exx. This is what? Axial deformation in the element. Now, total axial deformation. Total axial deformation in non-uniform rod. It is very simple. D delta integration on both sides, pxx dx by axx exx. Okay, so apply the limits. At x equal to 0, delta equal to 0, x equal to 0, at x equal to L, delta totally will get it. Here x equal to L. We need to integrate from 0 to L. From here to here it is. Length L. From here to here it is length L. It is A, B. Loading diagram is independent of the cross section. So just try to draw axial loading diagram for the given figure. Start from either end. I started from here. So it is positive. Of course it is B, A, B. Okay. So now I am here. I have seen the load, both are acting in same direction. That means we need to move up. Don't lift your pen until unless next load came. Now I am here, I have seen the load, both are acting in opposite direction, means negative. Negative means you need to move down by P. Here it is P, down by P means you need to subtract it, P minus P equal to 0. Okay, here it is P for G2. At every cross section, the uniform bar subjected under non-uniform bar subjected under uniform axial loading. At every cross section of non-uniform bar subjected under P, constant axial loading. Okay, so now Pxx equals to P. Here integral of 0 to L Pxx equal to P by area of cross section is continuously changing but E is not changing. Okay, so the expression delta, finally the expression delta axial deformation equals to integral of 0 to L P dx by Axx E. It is purely depending on the expression of Axx. Okay, so that cross section is varying throughout the bar. Okay, we need to it should follow some formula. Okay, so it should be varying by following some equation. From that you need to calculate Axx. Just substitute here and integrate from 0 to L. You will get axial deformation in the non-uniform rod. This is the way to determine axial deformation in the non-uniform rod. Okay, now put heading right on up to here. Put heading axial deformation in circular rod, which is subjected under uniform axial loading, uniaxial loading condition. That is here uniform. Okay, so right on up to here, it is a general expression to determine axial deformation in the rod. First step, you need to take an element, take the element and then write down the expression for axial deformation in the element, then apply integration from 0 to L. You can happily determine axial deformation in all the cases. We need to follow the same procedure to determine axial deformation in all the cases. It is very simple. Now, put heading here axial deformation in uniform circular rod. Uniform circular rod. Okay, axial deformation in uniform circular rod. It is a circular rod. Okay. It is subjected under axial loading P. It is subjected under axial loading P. What is the first step? You need to take an element. Take an element. First take an element. Total 1 hour you will focus on the same. First take an element. Take a length of the element is dx. From here to here it is how much? X. Okay, so total length from here to here it is L. Okay, so what is the axial loading diagram? Of course, rectangle. It is A. You can take it is positive. Of course, PP. It is positive. Axial loading diagram. Now take an element. Just to zoom it, here it is AXX and here it will be DX. It is subject under PXX, PXX, it will be AXX, EXX. Okay, so it is very simple. What is that? D delta is nothing but PXX into length of the element dx, AXX, EXX. That's it. Finally, total axial deformation in the uniform circular rod. Of course, same thing you will get it. Here, just write down integral of 0 to L P dx, AXX equal to A only, won't change. Correct na? AXX, it is throughout the bar. AXX equal to A, AX equal to A and PX equal to P. Finally, integration on both sides, P by AE, here equal to X, 0 to L equivalents to PL by AE, here 4 PL by pi d square E. That is delta deformation in the circular bar. Delta axial uniform circular rod equivalents to 4 PL by pi d square into E. This is the expression for axial deformation in circular rod. Uniform circular rod. Right up to here. If same question asked in the interview, you need to explain in the same fashion. Don't write this expression directly. You are in position to prove it. It is a uniform circular rod. Just take an element and explain it. Here the element subject under axial load P and it is having uniform area of cross section and E. Okay na? So length of the element dx. That is why axial deformation in the element is PXX dx by AXX EXX. Finally, we need to calculate total axial deformation in the rod. That is why we are integrating from x equal to 0 to x equal to L, 0 to L, P constant, it is uniform throughout the bar. From the axial loading diagram, P dx by area of cross section also uniform here. AE is constant. EP by AE taken out. So you need to integrate. XE will get PL by A. Just substitute A equal to pi d square by 4. Finally, total axial deformation in uniform circular rod is nothing but 4 PL by pi d square E. Now, putting axial deformation in tapered rod, circular taper bar. Okay, putting axial deformation in circular tapered bar. That means it is circular in cross section and taper, but it is taper. It is subjected under P. Okay. So what is the first step? We need to take an element. We need to take an element. ठीक है, so here from here to here it will be small d, from here to here capital D, capital D, take an element dx, distance measured from this end, it is x, x, take a length will be from here to here it will be L. ठीक है, now just it is a uniform axial loading, of course, uniform axial loading, here it is P, here it is P, A, B, here it is A, it will be B. Now here it is very simple, man. ठीक है, here just take the front view. Okay, here it is small d and this will be capital D. Here to here it will be dxx, dxx. Okay, so from here to here you can take P, Q, R, S, T, P, Q, R, S, T. From here to here it is X. Okay, so from here to here it will be L, L. Can I say from here to here it will be small d, from here to here you need to subtract capital D na, from here to here it is capital D, here subtract this thing you will get here and here, so d minus d by 2 you will get it, d minus d by 2, so theta, same theta, from triangle PQR or PRQ, from PRQ and triangle PMS. What you will get? Tell me. Tan theta is equal to QR by X. QR by X equals to SM by L. So take one triangle and two triangles. Tan theta will be same. Tan theta is equal to QR by X. Tan theta equal to SM by L. So finally QR equals to SM is nothing but d minus d by 2L into X. Now here dx is nothing but dxx. Dxx is nothing but, tell me, QR, yes not, TU. Okay, so QR plus RT plus TU. Okay, QR here, QR equals to TU equals to d minus d by 2 L into X. Correct na? D minus d by 2L into X. This and this same, this and this same. Okay? Now, finally, what is dxx? Dxx equal to, here what will get, tell me? QR in the sense 2QR plus RT 2 times d minus d by 2l into x plus small d. Okay, here what will get 2 gets cancelled out, d into d minus d by, here what will get, tell me, capital D into x by l plus d into 1 minus x by l. This is all about dxx. Clear? Understood now? Here you will get d plus d minus d into x by l. D into x by l, d into 1 minus x by l. Now take an element, this particular thing, take an element okay. So here to here it is dx, dxx, no. It is dx, length of the element, axx, e, here it is acting pxx, here d delta, to, what is the axial deformation in the element, pxx, dx by axx, exx is nothing but p dx by pi by 4 into dxx whole square e. What is the total deformation, tell me? Total deformation equal to integral of 0 to l p dx by pi by 4 into how much you will get it? D plus d minus d into x by l whole square pi by 4 into dxx whole square. This is dxx, d into d minus d by l. Okay, so is into dx, it's equal to 0 to l. Just take d common. Here p dx by pi d square by 4 1 plus d minus d by d x by l whole square. ठीक है, correct ना? ठीक है. Now integral of 0 to l, here it is 4p by some e must comes na, 4p by pi d square e. Here what you will get, tell me, 1 minus d by d into x by l whole power minus 2 dx. 1 plus d into x by l. Pakka. So here you will get plus 4p by pi d square into e 0 to l 1 plus d minus d by d into x by l whole power minus 2. Write down up to here. It's a matter of doing integration. What is the final answer here? Delta for taper bar, tapered circular bar equivalents to 4pl by pi capital dd into e. This is the thing. We can derive it, no issue. First, build the expression for dxx. This is just algebra, small calculations. dxx, okay na? So this is little geometry. dxx, okay, just substitute dxx here, then do some integration. That's it. Completed. Write down up to here. Finally, you will get this expression. Okay. If capital D equal to small d, then you will get 4pl by pi d square e. That's it. Write down up to here. the integration delta total equal to integral of 0 to L P into dx by pi by 4 into dx in the sense d plus d minus d into x by L all square into E. Correct na? Okay. So here 4p by pi e taken out. 4p by pi e taken out. 0 to L 1 by d plus d minus d by L into x whole square. ठीक है, or else into dx. ठीक है. So here what you will get, tell me? 4p by pi e d plus into x whole power minus 2 dx. Correct? Minus 2 dx. Now we know that integral of a plus bx whole power minus 2 dx equal to a plus bx whole power minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1 into 1 by b. That's it. Now here what you will get, tell me? 4p by pi e into d plus d minus d by L into x minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1 into 1 by d minus d by L 0 to L. Here what you will get? 4p by pi e. Here L by d minus d. Here you will get minus. Once you keep L, you will get a capital D. Substitute L here. Okay na? D power minus 1. D power minus 1. Once you keep x equal to 0, x equal to L in the sense d power minus 1 minus small d power minus 1. What you will get, tell me here? Minus take minus inside, pi e d minus d here, then 1 by d minus 1 by d. Here what you will get, tell me? 4pl by pi e capital D minus small d, capital D minus small d by capital D small d. D minus d gets cancelled out. 4pl by pi capital D small d e. Same thing you got it now. 4pl by pi capital D small d into e. That's it. So this is the derivation for axial deformation in circular tapered bar. Right up to here. So if you have any doubt in the integration, just have a look on this. Okay? Here B in the sense total D minus D by L. Okay? Next, putting first write down up to here. Next, axial deformation in rectangular tapered bar. Actually, it is important derivation for engineering service examination, conventional part. Actually, we can do one thing. We can combine all derivations and we will keep at one place. That is better. Rectangular tapered bar. Rectangular tapered bar. It is one of the important derivation for engineering service examination. Rectangular tapered bar. See here. Okay, it is subjected under uniform axial loading P. Here also uniform axial loading. Okay, thickness is constant. This particular thickness is constant. So take an element this particular thing is dx. It is at a distance x from this end. You need to measure the distance x. Okay, so this is the distance. Now total length of the tapered bar will be L. It is small b, capital B. Of course, uniform axial loading. Here it is P, here it is P, ALD. Okay, take an element dx. Okay, just take an element here it is AXX, load acting PXX, it is P, and it is varying cross section. You can take pieces now. So each slice is having one, all are rectangular cross section, but it's uniformly varying cross section. It is linearly varying. Okay, so E and the length of the element will be dx. Here we need to write the expression for bx. bxx. Okay, thickness is constant. Okay, na? Thickness is constant. Here you will get, this is the thickness. Correct? This is the thickness dx. Pakka. So this is the thickness. Now just take here, same calculations you will get it. Same calculations you will get it. From here to here, it is B, of course. It is capital B. From here to here, BXX. Total is BXX. Okay, it is from here to here, it will be B. Total is capital B, small b. From here to here, B minus B by B minus B by 2. It is theta, of course. From here to here it is x. Then here to here it will be B. Here how much? Tan theta equals to PQ, you can say PQ by X equals to B minus B by 2L. So PQ equal to B minus B by 2 into X by L. Okay, so what is BXX? Tell me. BXX equal to B plus 2 times of B minus B by 2L into X. Finally, B plus B minus B into X by L. Okay? Just now we derived it. Okay? So capital small dxx equal to small d plus d minus d into x by L. Similarly, right on up to here. Now, completed na? Now, just now we build an expression bxx equal to b plus b minus b into x by L. Now d delta equals to delta total equals to integral of 0 to L p dx by what is the area? What is the area? Tell me. What is the area xx? It is nothing but bxx into thickness t. Okay. So bxx into thickness t. This is the area into E. Correct na? So this is area into E. 0 to L. P into dx by how much is that? Bxx. B plus B minus B into x by L. It is nothing but into T E. Correct? Here what you will get? Tell me. Integral of 1 by 1 plus x 1 a plus bx into dx equal to ln a plus bx by b. A plus bx by b. Then delta total equals to, here what I will get it? P by t integral of 0 to L 1 by b plus b minus b by L into x into dx p by t ln b plus b minus b by L into x by b minus b by L. It is 0 to L. Here you will get PL by b minus b into t ln. If you substitute ln equal to L, you will get b, ln b minus, once you substitute 0, small b you will get it. Finally, PL by ET b minus b ln capital B by small b. This is delta total in the rectangular tapered bar. Here you will get this. The rectangular tapered bar. So finally you got a beautiful expression for non-uniform circular rod, your circular uniform rod and circular tapered rod and rectangular tapered bar. Okay? So this is the way to determine axial deformation in three different cases. Uniform circular bar, tapered circular bar, tapered rectangular bar. Okay, so this is all about axial deformation calculations. These three derivations are very important for engineering service examination. Okay, next, right on up to here. These are very simple derivations. First, take an element, after that load acting on the element, next d delta equivalents to, then write the expression for axial deformation in the element, d delta equivalents to pdx by axxe. Once you integrate from 0 to L, you will get a beautiful expression for total axial deformation in the corresponding rod which is subjected under uniform axial loading. Yeah, next, clear? Next, see here, till now we discussed loading condition, axial deformation, and stress, axial stress. First, here loading condition will be uniform circular rod, P, axial loading, this is uniform circular bar, uniform circular bar, uniform circular rod, axial deformation delta axial in, here it will be 4 PL by pi d square into E. Okay, so next, sigma axial, it is subjected under loading, it is nothing but load by pi d square by 4. Okay, 4p by pi d square. Okay, next, in case 2, tapered circular rod, tapered circular bar, it is P, from here to here it is capital D and small d. Okay, now axial deformation, tapered bar, it is nothing but 4 PL by pi capital D small d into E. Okay, next, sigma axial in the tapered bar, here P by pi by 4 dxx square. Okay, here cross section is continuously varying, that is why you need to write the expression for axial stress. Here axial stress is uniform throughout the bar. At any cross section, the axial stress is same, but here axial stress is continuously varying from this end to this end. Okay, so it is depending on the x actually. Pi by 4 into capital D plus small d minus d by d minus d into x by L whole square. Okay, so dxx is nothing but small d plus d minus d into x by L whole square. So they should ask axial deformation at a cross section, at a particular cross section. It is at a distance x from the small end. Okay, from the right end. Okay, this is the x. So here they should specify the cross section, otherwise you can't calculate it. So you can't define normal stress in the throughout the bar like uniform circular rod. Here what is the stress in uniform circular rod? 4p by pi d square. But here they should specify particular cross section because stress is continuously varying from here to here. Okay, so once they specify x equal to something, then you can get it. Okay, now rectangular tapered bar. Okay, here it is subjected under load P. It is subjected under load P. Now, delta axial in here what is this? 4 PL by ET B minus B. No. PL by ET B minus B ln B by B. Ek this much only na. PL by ET B minus B ln B by B. Yes, sigma axial here it is what? P by what you will get it? Bxx into T. P by B plus B minus B into X by L into T. Okay? So here also axial stress is varying from here to here. You can write here uniform circular rod, uniform circular bar, circular tapered bar, circular rectangular tapered bar. So just have a look on this. Observe how axial stress varying from lower end to bigger end in tapered bar. This is the expression to determine axial stress in the tapered bar. Right on up to here. So uniform circular bar, circular tapered bar, rectangular tapered bar. Yeah. Next, putting Write down axial deformation. Write down axial deformation in the prismatic bar due to self weight. This is the prismatic bar. Same procedure, nothing great here. Okay? It is special case actually. In general, we should neglect self weight of the component in total strength of material course. If you consider self weight, then the self weight is acting as a axial load to the prismatic bar, then corresponding axial deformation in prismatic bar and axial stress we need to determine here. Okay, so it is very simple. Just the total length will be L. Take an element. Length of the element will be dx. Same procedure. Whatever the thing you have done till now, same thing we need to do here. Okay. Take an element. Here it is. Okay. Here weight of the element. Here it will be reaction actually. Dx. What is the weight of the element? Total weight. Okay. So from here to here it will be x, of course. It will be x. Total weight up to here wxx. Okay, now whatever the weight is acting, total weight acting here at this point. Okay, now so what is the load acting at this point? 0. Why? Because there is no prismatic bar below the thing here. At this point, total load, whatever the load from here to here, that will be acting at this point like that. Okay, so we took an element. What is the load acting on the element? You need to calculate this. Load or weight of the thing acting as a axial load in this case. Here, how to write the expression for Wxx? We know that specific weight or weight density, specific weight equal to weight per unit volume. Okay, gamma xx equals to Wxx by volume xx. Okay, so here Wxx equals to gamma xx into what is the volume? Gamma xx into area xx into length small x. That's it. Okay, so this is the weight. Now axial deformation in the prismatic bar due to self weight. Okay, here you have written what is the load. Wxx equal to gamma xx axx into x. Okay, here gamma means same only, axx also a, it is the thing Wxx. What is the load here, load weight of the prismatic bar is varying linearly with the length of the bar, prismatic bar. Now here d delta equals to pxx. Here pxx is nothing but, here actually pxx dx by axx exx. Here we need to replace it with wxx dx by axx exx. wxx is nothing but gamma xx axx into x dx by axx exx. So these two gets cancelled out. Okay, so axx and axx gets cancelled out. Okay, now gamma is nothing but gamma xx, gamma only, x by e only, dx, d delta. Now integration from 0 to L, gamma x by e dx equals to gamma x square by 2L, 0 to L, gamma square 2e actually, gamma x square by 2e. Now gamma L square by 2e is the total deformation. Okay, what is the total deformation in the prismatic bar due to self weight? Now write down total deformation in the prismatic bar due to self weight. Delta total equivalents to gamma L square by 2e. Gamma L square by 2e. Right on up to here? It's very simple, man. Here weight is acting as a axial load. Weight is acting as a axial load. Weight is varying linearly with the length of the bar. It is varying linearly. So I can call it as uniformly distributed axial load. Here Wx we can call it as uniformly distributed axial load. Once you draw axial loading diagram for this, you will get linear. We can draw it. First write down up to here. Understood na? Here Pxx is nothing but weight Wxx. You can replace Wxx with gamma xx, axx, x. Okay? So specific weight of the material at cross section xx. Area of cross section at xx. X. Okay? So these two gets cancelled out. Finally we'll get it. That's it. This is also same. Gamma xx is nothing but gamma, axx is nothing but a. So why? Because uniform area of cross section. How? Weight of the thing varying with respect to x. It is uniformly distributed axial load. Now try to draw axial loading diagram. Okay. Here it is what? Positive. Now I am here. I have seen the load. No weight, no load is acting. Okay. What is the, it is linear now. What is the weight varying with respect to distance x? It is linear. So of course, from here to here it is 1 degree. Wxx equal to gamma ax actually. Put x equal to L. At this point, you will get gamma AL. This is the thing. gamma AL. At this particular cross section, it is gamma AX. A2 or else A, this is A, it is B. Here it is acting gamma AL. Total weight will be acting at this point. Total weight of the prismatic bar is acting at this point. Okay, here it is A. What is the reaction at A? Gamma AL. That's it. Okay. So this is the way to draw axial loading diagram for uniformly distributed axial load. You can call it as uniformly distributed axial load, UDAL. So this is the way to draw axial loading diagram for uniformly distributed axial load. Out of 12 cases, we discussed second case. This is the second case out of 12 different loading conditions. Till now we discussed point axial loading and then uniformly distributed axial loading. So, and corresponding loading diagram. That's it. Okay, clear? Next, here what is the magnitude of maximum axial stress? The magnitude of maximum axial stress in the prismatic bar due to self weight. Okay? What is the magnitude of maximum axial stress? It is nothing but what is P maximum? What is P maximum? This particular thing will become P maximum. What is the maximum stress in axial loading diagram? That is gamma AL and corresponding area of cross section. P maximum by corresponding area of cross section. That is nothing but gamma AL by A. So finally sigma maximum stress. Okay, so here it is what? Self weight of gamma L. This is the thing. Gamma L. Next, axial deformation in the, here the magnitude of maximum axial stress in the prismatic bar due to self weight. Okay, so axial deformation in the prismatic bar due to self weight. Delta axial in the prismatic bar due to self weight equals to gamma L square by 2E. Gamma L square by 2E. This is the beauty. So this is the way to determine maximum stress in the prismatic bar due to self weight and axial deformation in the prismatic bar due to self weight. Here in this particular case, weight distributed uniformly and it is acting as an axial load for the prismatic bar. Then corresponding axial loading diagram. Here we can talk about uniformly distributed axial load. The corresponding axial loading diagram will be linear. That is the beauty. Okay? How to determine the magnitude of maximum stress in the prismatic bar due to self weight means What is the magnitude of maximum load in the axial loading diagram and corresponding area of cross section we need to take to determine maximum axial stress in the prismatic bar due to self weight? It is also very simple. Gamma L square by 2E and it is gamma L. Next, after observing these two equations, in this particular case, maximum axial stress independent of cross section, normally stress depending on the diameter of the bar, okay, but here independent of diameter. Here this particular thing, axial deformation is depending only on gamma. It is depending on the type of material and it is independent of this particular. This is all about axial deformation in the prismatic bar due to self weight. Now, read out. చిన్న మీరు తినేయండి, లేదు కోనికల్ బార్ ఉంది ఇంకా మళ్ళా. పుటేటింగ్ yeah, right down. Axial deformation in conical bar. Axial deformation in conical bar due to self weight. First take a conical bar. It is a conical bar. Okay, here it is circular cross section. Length of the conical bar will be L. Length of the conical bar will be L. First take an element. That is the first step actually. Take an element, weight is acting vertically downward direction. So weight is acting vertically downward direction. Here this is the element. Here weight is acting vertically downward direction. So here what is the weight from here to here? From here to here it will be X. Distance will be X. Distance measured from here. Again, so total length is L. Here area of cross section is AXX. Area of cross section is AXX. Now we know that weight of the thing here, specific weight. Wait a minute, you can you need to draw axial loading diagram here, give some space. Now specific weight of the material gamma at cross section XX equals to weight of the material at cross section and volume. This is the thing. Now WXX equals to gamma XX equivalent into volume at the cross section. We know that volume of the cone equals to 1/3 of volume of the cylinder. 1/3 of volume of the cylinder. That means gamma XX equal to 1/3 of AXX into X. Okay, this is volume of the cylinder, 1/3 of volume of the cylinder. That means Wxx equals to gamma, xx in the sense gamma only, Axx is dependent, x by 3. Here Axx is not constant. Axx again depending on the x. Correct na? See here. At x equal to x, at x, Axx, no, first at x equal to L, it is area of cross section A, this is area of cross section A. Now at x, it is Axx, you can write in terms of x by L into A. Okay na? It is very simple. 5 mangoes, 100 rupees. Then 1 mango, tell me. 5 mangoes, 100 rupees. 2 mangoes, tell me. What is this, man? Okay, 2 mangoes, how much? 2 by 5 into 100 na? Correct? 2 by 5 into 100. So at x equal to L, area cross section A, at x equal to x, in the sense x by L into A. That is the thing. Now at x equal to L, area of cross section A at x, Axx equal to x by L into A, x by L into A. Just replace Axx with gamma Ax by, or else x by L into A into x by 3. Finally Wxx equals to gamma Ax square by 3L. Gamma Ax square by 3L. Here load is varying with respect to x. In a here load is varying. Here it is what? Parabola. Okay. Here load is varying with respect to x in a parabolical way. Okay. So it's a parabola. From here to here it is what? From here to here it is a 2 degree. Wxx equal to gamma A x square by 3L. Gamma A x square by 3L. Now here how much is this, tell me? Put x equal to L, then here it is what? Gamma AL by 3. What is the total load acting? What is the volume of the cone? Gamma into 1/3 of AL. Okay, so that is RA. Okay, so RA is equal to gamma AL by 3. So we need to close the thing. It will become P maximum. Total load is acting at this point. Total volume of total weight of the cone acting at this point. Okay, so weight varying parabolically with the length of the cone. Now axial deformation in the conical bar due to self weight. Axial deformation in the conical bar due to self weight. Okay, so it is very simple actually. Delta total. Okay na? So here it is conical bar due to self weight equals to integral of 0 to L Pxx, you need to write Wxx, load is acting now. Wxx into dx by Axx Exx. Correct na? It's very simple. Load is acting into length of the element and area of cross section Exx. Now, so here 0 to L gamma xx, we can write specific weight into volume Axx into x by 3 actually. This is the volume. Okay na? Axx into x by 3. Next into dx by Axx Exx. Directly cancel it, or else you can write Axx in terms of Ax by L. In terms of A. Here Axx is variable. Okay na? It is continuously varying from here to here. Here area of cross section is 0. Here area of cross section is A. A is the maximum area of cross section or area of cross section at fixed end. Now you can write Axx in terms of Ax by L in both the cases, and then you can cancel it. Or else you can directly cancel Axx, Axx. Cancel out. Okay? So nothing wrong in that. Finally, you will get 0 to L gamma x by 3e dx. Correct na? Axx, Axx gets cancelled out. Gamma, it is the same material na. At every cross section, material is same. That is why specific weight won't change. E also won't change. X is varying. Okay? So finally, what is the delta total? Equivalence to gamma x square by 6e 0 to L gamma L square by 6e delta total. So what is the axial deformation in conical bar due to self weight is nothing but gamma L square by 6e. So this is the way to draw axial loading diagram. You can call it as uniformly varying axial load. Here for corresponding axial loading diagram is parabola. For point load 0 degree, for this particular prismatic bar subject under self weight, that is uniformly distributed axial load, you will get linear. For uniformly varying axial load, you will get parabola. Okay, for a conical bar subject under self weight, this is specific weight gamma. Enough. So it's very simple. First we took an element and then just you have written Wxx in terms of gamma, Ax and L. Generally weight is nothing but specific weight into volume. Volume of the cone is 1/3 of volume of the cylinder, and again here cross section Axx is continuously varying. That is why I have written Axx in terms of constant cross section. It is a maximum cross section of the cone. Area of cross section at the fixed end. I have written Axx in terms of A. There, how to get it? At x equal to L, cross section is A. At x equal to x, cross section is Axx, equivalence to x by L into A. It is very simple linear property. Just I replaced Axx with Ax by L. Finally, I got a beautiful expression for weight of the cone. Weight of the cone equal to gamma Ax square by 3L. Weight of the cone is varying parabolically with the length of the conical bar. Then axial deformation in the conical bar due to self weight. Here it is very simple. Load into dx by A into E. Just I have written Wxx equal to gamma xx into Axx x by 3. Gamma is specific weight into volume of the cone. Up to this, up to here. That is the thing. Okay na? So that is the weight of the cone below the element. Total weight of the cone below the element. Total weight, that particular weight acting as a axial load on the element. That is the logic. total weight is acting at this point, whatever the weight present below this point, okay na, the total weight will be acting at that point. To calculate weight acting at this point, what to do, tell me? So take element, so whatever the weight present below this cross section, that much weight will be acting at this point. That is the logic here. Okay. Now, so here it is very simple. Till now we focused on that only. Axial deformation in the conical bar is very simple. Wx, I have written Wxx in terms of here like this. Just cancel out AXX cancelled out, then gamma XX. It is a material property, it is constant throughout the material. Gamma XX is constant at every cross section. Gamma E also constant E. So just it's a matter of doing integration. X square root of x means x square by 2. Here gamma x square by 6e. Then apply the limit 0 to L gamma L square by 6e. This is axial deformation in the conical bar due to self weight. Now, maximum stress induced in the conical bar due to self weight. Maximum stress here. Maximum stress induced. Here you can write stress induced. Stress induced in the conical bar due to max stress induced in the conical bar due to self weight at fixed support or fixed end. Okay na, sigma this particular thing due to self weight equal to P, that particular P maximum, and the corresponding area. Corresponding area of cross section is nothing but gamma AL by 3 by A. You will get gamma L by 3. So of course, what is the stress induced at a distance x equal to 0.5? So first take load acting at this point and corresponding area of cross section we need to calculate. So among these, which is maximum, that is depending on this. Okay? So of course you will get this will be the maximum, I guess. Okay? So here stress is not uniform throughout the conical bar due to self weight. It is continuously varying. What is the stress induced at the fixed support means load acting at the fixed support and then corresponding area of cross section gamma AL by 3 by A equal to gamma L by 3. Okay? So this is the way to determine axial deformation in the conical bar due to self weight and stress induced in the conical bar due to self weight. Okay? So both are very simple. Okay? This is the derivation regarding axial deformation in the conical bar due to self weight. What are the things discussed till now? Axial deformation in the non-uniform rod. After that, uniform circular bar. Next, uniform tapered circular bar, tapered rectangular bar. Axial deformation in the prismatic bar due to self weight. Axial deformation in the conical bar due to self weight. Now we need to compare. Okay, so what are the parameters? Now we need to compare both the static loading and due to self weight. After that we can combine both the effects to determine axial deformation in the bar, which is subjected under static loading, static axial loading, and then self weight. Both are considered how to determine the axial deformation and stress induced at a particular cross section. We can discuss in the next class.